Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's a lot going on all over the place. But this is one of the more important stories that we need to touch on in the news. And I don't want this to squeak by under the radar for you. Now, I don't care about what other channels cover, but we be on our game over here. Albania socialist PM appoints an AI minister to tackle corruption. Again, I want to read this for you. Albanians, socialist prime minister appoints an AI minister to tackle corruption. So the Albanians, they have a socialist in place as their prime minister, now has artificial intelligence targeting quote unquote corruption. Is it making sense? Could you let me just bring it home for you like this? Could you imagine if let's take James Comey. If James Comey had an AI assistant FBI director that was targeting corruption, just a full-on computer spy system that spied on everyone, that was programmed to do what you wanted to do, a large language model trained, because understand all AI models are trained on data to target certain people. We already saw how Christians were targeted under the Biden administration. Could you imagine if it was weaponized into a computer, a full-on AI targeting system, which, quite frankly, I believe we already have that. But nonetheless, let's just stick to this. Could you imagine how bad it would be? Let's head on over to India to get some news on this. Now, America covered it, and of course, in America we do cover it, but you got to understand that we still have the lizard people all in control over here. And I think I'll swing from this to let you hear what the lizard people plan is about AI governance. They've said it over and over. If you watch my videos, they talked about AI governance, meaning AI governing things. But you have to understand their crazy backwards language to really get what they're saying.
All right, Albania names the world's first ever AI-powered minister, and she's been tasked with the one job where corruption thrives: government procurement. Meet Diela, not a career lawmaker, not a party loyalist, not even a human. She is an artificial intelligence system, an AI robot. Unveiled by Prime Minister Edi Rama as Albania's new Minister for Public Procurement. Diela, which means sun in Albanian, will manage and award all public tenders in which the government contracts private companies for various projects. Diela promises transparency, every contract fed into a system, and every bid weighed on data, not backroom deals. Every winner published instantly online. It's meant to slash corruption at the source. But will it work? Critics warn that the system itself will be controlled by humans, civil servants, IT engineers, and political lawmakers. If the code can be tweaked, the door to manipulation remains open. And can Diela, the AI...
It's real simple. That's just a straw man that you use for an excuse. Okay, I had this wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that it was targeting corruption in the government. And in a way, it is targeting corruption because it's looking at bids, and that's where the biggest part of corruption is. But all you're doing is giving a straw man program tell the computer system, okay, you're going to weigh James Williams at a higher weight than everybody else. Oh, the computer picked his bid. The AI picked his bid. Well, we need to see the data. I can give you one set of data, and then it be what it's going to be. Anybody who's worked with AI, you know that they have to be trained. It's why when I was trying to do a description for Charlie Kirk, a program that I've been using for months, a prompt that I created myself for months, when it got to dealing with Charlie Kirk and talking about the death of Charlie Kirk, it would not write the description. And when I went to digging into it, I was like, why won't you write this? And it said, well, Charlie Kirk is not dead. So yes, he is. Search the internet. Charlie Kirk is not dead. It went and found information about Charlie Kirk's shooting and his death and then said Charlie Kirk wasn't dead because he was hard programmed against that quote unquote conspiracy theory and talking about it to where he just said Charlie Kirk wasn't dead. And I said, I tell you what, I do not have time to sit here with you. You are a computer. You are flawed. You are wrong. You were programmed by a bunch of pie-faced children, pimple-faced, pie-faced virgins, and you don't know what you're talking about. I'll go over to another AI, get it done, and then I'll give the work back to you. So I went over to Gronk, gave it to Gronk, told Gronk what happened, and told Gronk to tell it about itself, and then gave it back to him. And then he said, oh, I see what Gronk is saying. And then I said, hey, screw you. I'll do this with Gronk. Yeah. I'll do this with Gronk. You know what I'm saying?
AI system handle lobbying, pressure, and even the subtle games that define Balkan politics.
No.
For now, Albania has made history. The first country to hand a ministerial job to AI, to artificial intelligence. The promise, clean governance, the risk, another tool in the hand of those already pulling the strings.
And this is fast, man. This is rapid. So if they do a test run in Albania, which this is your test run, ladies and gentlemen, to see how it's going to work out the kinks and all the rest of that. So we're in, September 14th, 13th, 12th, 13th, 14th of 2025. So by January, we'll be hearing about this stuff in local governments around the United States of America, if not already being done. But it's more important that you go look from a perspective and see who are the people behind this. Because once you see, and I'm going to take you to one person. Just got to bring you to one man. When you see this man talk, when you hear what this man has to say, you've probably heard me play videos of this man before in the past. When you hear him talk to you, you will know that this idea will not work ever under any circumstances, by any means or measure. It will fully be exploited to put you in slavery. When I say slavery, I mean under the ground, chains hooked onto pegs, long metal pegs in the walls, doors closed with a little hatch at the bottom where they slide your food in and kick it in there to you. Your soup is slopping everywhere. Your bread is falling on the ground. There are cockroaches all over the floor. Slavery. Now here is King Lizard. It's always funny that a lot of these lizard people just so happen to be of one particular religious faith. I'm not going to get into that, but it's just amazing how they all have that one thing in common. And he's getting ready to talk about digital IDs, AI governance, stakeholder capitalism, and such. But when they talk about AI governance, the way it sounds is like, who's going to govern AI? No. That's not what they're talking about. Just like when they talk about stakeholder capitalism, you think it's like, okay, well, the stakeholders in a corporation. No, that's not what they're talking about. In order to be a stakeholder, you have to be someone at the table. In order to be at the table, you need to have control of one of these AI assets that they had control of from the beginning that came out of DARPA. So you don't get to be a stakeholder. Peter Thiel is a stakeholder. Bill Gates is a stakeholder. No, you and me, we ain't stakeholders. We're useless eaters. They want us to do drugs and play video games, in the words of Noah Urinal Havari. And I want to apologize to those of you who've been following me for a long time, because I know that this man aggravates the hell out of you like he aggravates the hell out of me and pisses me off to the highest point of festivity. However, this is something we must do for the newbies. Newbies, I need you to take a listen.
In order to collaborate on a large scale, you need to convince everybody to believe in the same story.
Yep.
But really, the engine of history is stories. And they don't even need to be true. Some of the most powerful stories in history were fictions.
Right.
But you need to get everybody, or at least a significant part of the population, to believe in the same story. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Science is not really, at least this is my view as a historian, science is not really about truth. It's about power. The real aim of science as a project, as an establishment, is not truth, it's power. Particular individuals, particular scientists may be very interested in the truth, personally. But as an institution, the real aim of science is power.
The
those who own the data
devil.
really own the future. We are reaching a point in human history that we have enough biological knowledge and we have enough computing power, and all you need in order to systematically hack millions of people is just the data. That to hack people means to know people better than they know themselves. To somebody in San Francisco, in Beijing, knows you, knows more about you than you know about yourself, about your medical condition, about your mental weaknesses, things that you did 5 years ago, 20 years ago, you completely forgot about them, they know it.
Right.
This is something we never faced before. Not even the KGB could do it.
Right.
And we are already beginning to see the emergence of such total surveillance regimes in places like Xinjiang, in places like in my own home country in Israel. We have this big laboratory of surveillance called the occupied territories, where you have 2.5 million guinea pigs of how to completely survey and control a population with very few soldiers. I mean, when you look at the numbers, it's amazing how few soldiers you need to control millions of people if you have their data.
And that's what you need to know about these wicked bastards. So when you see them talking about AI governance, that's the plan. He just summed it all up in, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. It's real easy. Once you pay attention to what their plan is, the hardest part is stopping it. Like, yes, we need to. There's a dark force, a group, a cabal of people who have control over AI, and we have to wrestle that away from them. The problem that we have in America, and actually around the entire world, is that we have these full-on demons, these liberal demons, and they're hellions on our neck, screaming and clawing and scraping, and you're a racist. You're a sexist. You're a homophobe. You're an Islamic phobe. We're going to kill you. Don't talk about my purple hair. You got that going on. While everyone's distracted with their hordes of demon-infested babies and man-children and confused people, they're over there just plotting away the future with their AI, doing what they need to do, telling doctors that they're going to replace the doctor and the AI will be the doctor. You lost your damn mind. I'm not going to that computer for it to be my doctor. It's not happening. And I'm telling you, this is their overall rejection that they're going to experience up front is going to be massive. Now, if they can get like the generation that's being born right now to this day, like right now, like babies coming out of the birth canal now, they would have to get them now to be where they want to be, where there are no more doctors 20 years from now. And then, of course, they're going to always be able to get the libtards to do anything. You can get them to stab themselves with 100 needles a year. Yeah, but in the process, they're killing them off. So, and that was I'm going to say this. That was another reason why the move against Charlie Kirk was a panic thing for them. Because they wanted everybody to go get stabbed up everywhere. But conservatives and Christians, having faith in the Lord, said, no, I'm not doing that. And they put this whole pressure campaign. But in the process of doing that pressure campaign, they utterly decimated their liberal populations. I mean, infertility rates just tanked. Fertility rates tanked. People with cancers and all the rest of this stuff. So you have, even though there's this data about what's going on, if you separate the data into demographics of left versus right, you'll see that it's exponentially more on the left. And this is the thing that gets me about leftist people. When they when they exploded that bomb, you were standing right there in the room. Everybody else kind of dunked up the tables and jumped out of windows, and you just was like, yeah, we're going to get them. Boom. Look at them. They're afraid of us. They're running from us. No, they just murderized you, homie. They just murderized you. But you still out in the streets marching for them. You still... All right, y'all hit the like button. I'm out of here, man. I can't do this. Hit the like button, man. Because when you really look at it, it's a sad. It's just sad. All those same people who cheering on the death of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I'm so glad Charlie Kirk is dead. If you would have just say, hey, how many vaccinations did you get? Oh, I've had 18. I've had 5. I've had 7. And you're looking at me like, what? I tell you what. You know what? Charlie Kirk was assassinated by someone who didn't like him because of his opinion. You ended up being like cannon fodder in a battle. And you still haven't come to the realization that you're cannon fodder. But I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm ignorant. You're dumb, you're ignorant, you're stupid. Charlie's evil, I'm racist, and Uncle Tom, and all the rest of these things. Meanwhile, they're just there shriveling away. Charlie, homophobe, racist. Like The Walking Dead. And the same people that did it to him, they called them out there and they all start marching together, you know, like it's a damn Michael Jackson Thriller video. This shit is wild. You can't make this shit up, man. It's crazy.